everybody, and welcome to One Player. Today, we're back with Star Realms Frontiers. We are facing, oh boy, the Blob Assault. Let me tell you, I've tried this challenge a couple of times, and it is not easy. I'm hoping that if we start it on like intermediate level, that we maybe have a chance of winning. Let me read you the flavor text just to get you prepared. A blob spike cluster was discovered by colonists at the fringe of your star realm. Panicked colonial defenses attacked and destroyed the cluster, but not before it sent a distress signal deep into blob space. The mistake has been made and there's no undoing it now. Your only choice is to prepare your realm for the inevitable blob response and pray you can survive it. Indeed we shall. Pray that we can survive this one-player challenge. If you're not familiar with the Star Realms setup, feel free to go back and watch some of my other Star Realms videos. I'm gonna just kind of dive straight into it today, but you'll get the gist. It's a deck builder. What more is there to know? What we've done, what's special about the blob, is that we've set up a predetermined blob deck. These are the cards they're gonna play. They also gain a lot of combat if they ever are gonna gain cards and scrap things and all that kind of stuff. So there's all the So there's all those kind of special rules too. We are going to take 2 turns before the boss takes their first turn and before the Blob Assault makes its way towards us. So what we're going to do is pull 3 cards for our first go. We have obtained 3 coins or 3 trade, whatever you want to call it. And you'll notice that there are no blob cards in the trade deck. That is because all the blob cards have been taken out. We cannot recruit the blob to fight the blob, which is unfortunate because they are some of the most powerful and kind of some of my favorite cards. They really just pack a punch. So we're gonna have to be a little considerate as to our tactics going forwards. We're definitely gonna buy this Frontier Hork. I mean, there's no 2 ways about it, is there? It gives us combat. It lets us draw a card. That sounds good. This, I'm less keen on. This, it's nice because it gives us authority, essentially a measure of our health down here. But you'll notice we both start, both the blob and I start on 40 authority. It'll give us some authority, but honestly, I think we just need to be speedy. We just need to attack as quickly as we possibly can. Now that I'd like to buy this because this is a great card to pull, but we are not going to have enough money for some time. So I suppose this one will get rid of maybe play a scout to do that. And then, well, let's just buy this one then as well. Shoot. Oh boy, those are all very expensive. It's going to be difficult for us to buy anything. Now, I did read a rule that I'd neglected in my previous playthroughs, which is that we can scrap the trade row at any time once during a challenge. Now, I'm definitely not going to do that right now or just yet because there's some really good cards in here and I don't want to get rid of them. But just to bear that in mind, that's a possibility as well. So our second turn, we're going to draw 5 cards, and we've got, what have we got? We've got 4 and 1 combat, so that's fine. We'll do 4, and we'll pick up this mobile market. That gives us 2 trade every turn. If we scrap it, we get to gain 2 authority, which isn't huge, but it is an outpost, so it should protect us. And then I'll play this Viper, and we'll take the Blob Assault down to 39. Perhaps we picked up an early scout or something. So they're on 39. Now it is the Blob's turn. They will pull the top card. Oh, I forgot to replace this. They will pull the top card of the Blob deck. It is a Stinger. They will activate the ability as soon as they possibly can. If they pull a base, it goes right into play. They'll activate an ally ability if they can. And then if they are to gain, they will never scrap a card, but if they are to gain trade, that will turn into combat. So by playing the Stinger down and then into their discard pile, they'll score 3 combat, and we are down to 37. That's turn. So we've only got 2 cards left in our little deck here, so we're going to shuffle and pull these, and then we'll pull an extra 3 from our pile. All right, well, we've got a nice base, so that's good. We've got another one combat, so that's fine. We do have enough money to buy the Federation Cruiser, which is pretty appealing. So we've got 2 from this base here. 3 from our scouts, and I think that's exactly what we'll do. We'll buy this Federation cruiser. It's going to get us authority and combat points, and I think maybe this is where we need to focus our attention on, are these kind of like big hitting ships for the while. Orbital shuttle. All right, and then we've got a Viper, so we'll play that down as well, and we will take them down to 38. Very good. The Blob. What have you got, Blob? A spike cluster. They have a base in play. They will score 2, and you know what? This is going to be bad, because they're going to have ally abilities for sure, because they're all Blob cards. So let's try and get rid of that this next turn, shall we? We're down to 35. They've scored 2, and then we're going to pull our next hand of 5. Oh, I should always remember to pull my hand first. I forget. All right. Well, here we go. I can gain 3. I can gain 3 trade. I can also draw and discard if I play this, so I think I will do that. Just let's see what else. Let's just give ourselves some more options. All right, it's a scout, so we'll just. Well, actually, you know what? Yeah, that's fine. We're going to gain 2 from here. We're going to gain 3 from our scout and our builder bots. So that's going to be a total of 5. So what can we buy for 5? Well, nothing really that good. This one, target opponent discards a card. Now that, we came across this the last boss fight we did. And I think it's the same, where, yeah, if the player would make a boss discard a card, that player gains 3 combat instead. That is a massive card. For 2, to pull 2 trade and 3 damage, yes, I will. So we'll put this in our deck here, and we've still got 3 to spend. Ooh, it's another Frontier Hawk. I think we'll pick up maybe both of these, but let's pick up the Frontier Hawk for sure. And, oh, that's a shame. So that's, we've got what? We've only got 2 left now, and this was the 3. So that's okay. What is this though? What does it do? Draw a card, then discard a card. Okay, yeah, pretty standard Star Empire stuff. All right, well, let's buy the orbital shuttle. And there's another one. So at least we'll have maybe some abilities combining with our base if we can keep our base in play. Oh, I've done this over and over again in this series. Because we already had the mobile market down when the spike cluster created it to combat, because it's an outpost, they cannot attack us. So actually, we're still on 37. They didn't get past our defenses. Now, if they'd had, of course, 4 combat or more, then they would have indeed destroyed this and then gave us damage. But our mobile market saved our bacon. Back to where we were. So we've spent all of our trade. So let's get rid of these cards just to clear things up a little bit. And then we've got 4 combat to spend. 3 from our Frontier Hawk and 1 from our Viper. And I think we should definitely spend it on getting rid of this spike cluster. So that's 3. We can attack that for 3, and then we'll take them down by 1. And we're now on equal footing again. So we're back. We're both on 37. That feels like a decent turn. Let me draw my hand, so I'll have to shuffle my deck or my discard. I'm not gonna curse myself by commenting on how straightforward this is going thus far, because I know what's waiting in this Blob deck. I know what's waiting, and it is not pleasant, ladies and gentlemen. It is not pleasant at all. All right, it is the Blob's turn, so let's see what they've got in store. We've got a Burrower. They're gonna do, oh my gosh. They're gonna do 5 combat. Now, we don't have their ally ability because we managed to destroy the spike cluster, so that's pretty good. They are gonna destroy our outpost, with that said. So they've done 4 damage to the outpost, and they've done 1 damage to me. So that's not terrible. Ah, come here. They've done 1 damage to me, so I'm on 36. It's not the worst that could have happened. I would have hoped that we could get another base in here, although I don't actually know if we've bought another base yet. So, wow, we've got a bit of a selection here, haven't we? So, well, it's all trade, really, isn't it? I can scrap a card in my discard pile. Well, the only thing in there is this, so I'm not going to do that. But I will gain 1 trade. If I have 2 or more bases in play, I can gain 4, which is not the case. So I will just gain 3 combat there. I'll gain, 3 trade. I'll gain 2 combat and 2 authority from our runner. So we're back up to 38. And then we've got 2 scouts for 2 combats. So that's 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we're talking. Now we really do have a decision to make, don't we? Because we can spend 8 on this, and we've got a nice 7 combat. That is pretty good. However, we've got this base for 7, and it gives us 5 combat every turn. And I think we've got a couple of yellow cards in our deck as well already. So if we can get a nice ally ability as well, that's doing 9 damage. Potentially on multiple turns. I think that's probably going to be better than the flagship. The flagship does let us draw 2 cards. Oh, and it gets them to discard a card too if we've got an ally. So it would be doing 10. I think I'm going to go with this. I think we're going to go with bases. Let's see how this pans out. If you want to stop the Blob Assault, you've got to have an outpost, right? I think that's how it works. Oh yes, and this card is going to be mine. Look at that. 4 combat, another 2 combat, and then a discard, so actually 7 plus 2 is 9, and then a draw a card as well. Yeah, okay, we're going straight Star Empire, aren't we? We're going straight yellow faction this turn, or this game. That is all that done. Over to Senor Blob. Let's see what we've got. Okay. We're doing well to keep other cards out of play, so he's not getting his ally abilities, which is nice, but 6... Swinging for 6 every turn is pretty tough. So we're going to do 6 damage. That takes us down to 32. Oops, I forgot to draw my hand again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think there's any blob cards that force me to discard a card, so I don't actually probably not matter that much. Really could have done with some combat. Oh, we got a cargo craft, so that's nice. So what have we got? We've got 2, 3, 4, 5. Now then, do we go with the light cruiser or do we go with an outpost again? I think we go with the cruiser. So that's 3 spent. So those scouts are done. Let's see what we pull here. Okay, yeah, I think that's probably what we're going to do because we've got 2 left to spend, and I think just the fact that it's got combat on it, I think makes me want to buy it more than this orbital shuttle. So we're going to spend 2 on this. That goes in our discard as well. Ooh, that's nice. And then, if you remember, we bought this card for the sole purpose that it says target opponent discards a card. That means we gain 3 combat. So we've actually got 4 in our hand right now. So 4 combat, pretty good. And he's down to 33. So we're keeping pretty level pegging, I think, which is okay. It's not going to stay that way, I don't think, for very long. But, you know, as long as we can keep it there, the better, right? All right, let's see what we've got. Okay, we've got another base. So it's the nesting ground. We're going to put that in play. It's got a defense of 5. And every time the blob gains trade, in this case 2 trade every turn, they gain that much combat. So he's just going to do 2 damage to us, which takes us down to 30. Of course, once we get the ally ability started, we're going to be in trouble. Because this card's going to be generating 6 combat each turn, plus whatever else is in there. So hopefully in our deck we've got, or hopefully in our hand, we've got 5 combat, enough to get this out of here. Let's see. Oh, we do as well, you know, look at that. We've got it. We've got 6, which is absolutely fantastic. So we're going to draw a card and discard a card as well, and we could do that twice. Which, I mean, why not? Might as well. Oh, baby! All right, this is going to be a big turn. So I'm going to draw that, and I think for that I am going to discard a scout. We're going to probably not buy anything this turn, aren't we? Shall we do it again? What is this? Is this a base? No. I don't think it is. Can I look through my discard? I think I can. I think I'm allowed to. Let's see. We've got we got 2 bases here. I don't think it is a base. So what is it? Is this just a scout? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, it's not a scout. So is it a viper? Let's see. It's a bit cheeky. Yeah, it's a viper. Okay. It's a viper, so it's just is 1 combat, which, to be honest, I'm not that concerned about. I think I'd rather have the 2 so we can buy something as well. Let's do that. We'll play 2. We'll buy this orbital shuttle because it's the only thing we can afford, and whatever. I think the more cards you have in your hand that are better than the scouts and the vipers, the better. So I'm not too fussed by that. And then we've got, oh, this is amazing. This is a banging card. Look at that. So we've got 5 and 4 authority. So we're going to put this up by 4 to back to 34. We're actually ahead of the Blob for the first time in a while. It's probably since the first turn. And then we've got 6 plus 5. So this 5 is going to take out this nesting ground. Done. I was hoping for it, and we got it. That's fantastic. And then we're going to get another 6, which leads him down to 27. This Blob Assault is... We're doing a decent job holding him at bay. I think we're doing a decent job. Let's take this, which we have assessed to be a Viper, into our next hand, and we'll shuffle, and we will draw 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Well, that one's revealed, but I mean, I guess that's fine. It's another Viper. And so, the Blob. Okay. Let's see. Pulverizer. Scrap a card in the trade row and gain combat equal to its cost. Now, I'm guessing that they're going to scrap the most expensive one. I think that's the way that it works. Yeah. If the boss would scrap a card in the trade row, it always scraps the most expensive card. Good job, we've got that nice number 8 sticking out of there. In the case of a tie, it scraps the tied card closest to the trade deck. All right. Still no ally ability, so we are doing well keeping them. He's keeping him down to 1, right? Keeping him down to 1 card at a time. I'm going to scrap this and then put in the Hammerhead. I like that card. We get to draw a card and make him discard a card, so it's a 6 attack. Isn't bad. So we're getting, what, 8 damage? Yes. So we're down to 26. All right, so we were only ahead of him for a while, but that last attack was pretty tough. Let's see what we've got. I was hoping for some bases, but that's fine. We don't have any bases in play, so we're not going to gain any authority from the orbital shuttle. I will from the frontier runner. Well, okay, we've got 2 Vipers, so let's just do the 2 damage. So these down on 25, so we've snuck ahead again. And then we've got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 2 authority. So actually we're back up to 28 with 6 trade. Now then, there's 2 ways to win this game, or this challenge, this boss. You either survive until the last card, right? So if the boss doesn't have any more cards to draw from, you win. Which 1, 2, 3, 4, we're only 4 cards away from. So that's, I can't remember how much damage that is, but it's probably more than 28. But that we're not far away from that. That's a minor victory though. The major victory is that we take him down to 0, right? Like destroy the authority. So we've really got a choice that's going to decide probably the direction of this game, right? So we can either buy the reclamation station. Doesn't really do us anything that good. Scrap a card in your discard pile, like, it's fine, but it's nothing like generative. But it's a nice big 6 outpost, which will take a massive hit off us which is coming. Which is coming. Or with 6, we could either buy this big guy, that's a 6, right? Because we've got a discard and a 3 and a draw card, so we've got 6 combat here, or 2 5s, which is actually that's actually probably better. But anyway, 2 5s like that for a total of 10 combat, or we could do a bit of both. So we get like this guy for 3, where we've got a 3 outpost, which takes, softens a bit of the damage, and then a destroyer bot as well. I'm not sure whether to pick a path, go in the middle, or just buy the Hammerhead because it's got a cool name. Let's strike off the latter. I think my best options are either these 2 or this one. Well, we're not here for a minor victory, are we? We're not here we're not here just to survive. We're here to fend off the Blob. We're here to protect our galaxy. Destroyers. Let's go. Probably should have checked to see if anything good came out. No, we're okay. Oh, look at that. That's released this card, which I like. Look at that. Lots of combat, a big outpost, and very cheap. Look, I would have been mad if I bought this for 6. I can buy this for 4. It didn't do any damage that turn, though. Oh, no. Did we? No. No, we didn't. Do no damage that turn. So that's less... Oh, no, we did 2. Less good. I think that, I mean, hopefully, if we get through our deck, maybe we do need to start scrapping some stuff, but if we get through our deck in time to pull these back out again, we might be doing okay. All right, 25 health for the blob. What's they got? Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a big one. Just swinging for 10. Nothing. No like flavor text. No like special abilities. Just a big old space fish. Look at him. 10. So we get down to 18. Ooh, that makes me feel anxious. Makes me feel like I want that now. Oh dear. All right. Let's see what we've got. 3, 4. Hopefully some bases. Please, some bases. Oh no. I need bases, guys. I need bases. Although we did get a nice... we will have an ally ability, which is nice. Oh, come on. I've got 3 scouts and 3 more trade. No bases in place, so that's useless. Now, do I buy this? Once again, is it even going to get into my hand before the game is over? How many cards do I have in here? 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 12 cards in here, and I'm only going to be pulling another 15. So anything I buy is actually feels quite pointless. That's weird, isn't it? Because it's basically like I can only get better until like the 4th or 5th turn, and then I'm just like, then I'm set. And I suppose unless I was scrapping a lot of cards, which I probably maybe should have been doing, although you can't scrap them without an actual scrap ability. Like you can't just decide to get rid of your scouts. Let's do the damage first, because that's the easiest to figure out. So we're going to gain actually 6 authority, which is pretty decent. So we're going to get back up to what, 24. So that's pretty welcome. So 6 authority from the Federation Cruiser, that's great. And then we've got 7 damage, which will take the blob down to 18, which is what we started the turn on. So that feels alright. Gonna swap places with them. Now we've got 6 to buy, and yeah, honestly, I don't really know. I mean, the likelihood of this being useful is minimal at this point. But I tell you what, if he's got another card that says scrap something in the trade row, at least we've taken a 6 out of there, and he's only left with, well, 5, but not left with as high a value of a card to scrap. Yeah, that's my tactic. That is my tactic. All right, let's pull our next hand. Let's flip the blob. Let's see what he's got. Oh, jeez. Okay, so it's a swarm cluster, another base. It's 8. Oof, this better be good. He's only going to do 5 this turn, but then next turn he's going to do 8 if we don't destroy it. And the next turn this is going to do 11, which will probably be enough to destroy us by then. Come on, some bases, please. So, he's got 5 combat from that. We're down to 19, and this base stays in play. I think that's his last base. I can't remember. I mean, I'm sure I could just look, but I can't remember. That feels like cheating. I can't remember exactly what these two. I think there's like a queen blob and then something else, but I don't know. Oh, that's probably the worst card that you could possibly... That's the worst hand I could possibly think of. 4 scouts. Oh, that sucks. I think that's probably... This is the hand that's going to lose us the game, isn't it? Because it's not an outpost... Okay, so there's some... Because it's not an outpost, we don't have to attack this. We can still attack the blob and take points off him. Now, we've got 4 plus this 3 because he's going to discard a card, which he can't do, so we gain 3, right? We're not going to gain this because we've only got scouts, which is just terrible. But we're still going to be doing 7, which is enough to take him down to 11 health. So I don't feel as terrible about this. It's going to make our next turn quite difficult. But you know what? I'll take it. We've now got 4 scouts, so it's weird. This card's in a sleeve backwards. We've got 4 scouts, so I mean, once again, it's like there's not really that much. There's not really that much point. I guess just try and increase my chances of getting 4 scouts. Oh yeah, this one. Just increase my chances of getting a good base in like my last 3 cards. This is gonna get tense. It's gonna come down to the wire. We're on 19 health. We've got a hand of 5. What are we pulling here? Oh, it's another base. All right, so they've set up 2 bases in our sector. Oh, and this is so he's got an ally ability of draw a card. So let's see what that does. when the blob could draw a card, instead it puts the lowest, oh my gosh, that is terrible. It puts the lowest cost base it has in its discard pile into play. Oh, that is absolute, oh no. All right, so then that's this, the spike cluster. So now he's got 3 bases in play. Oh, that is awful. And then I think, you know what? Oh no. So the order of the turn means that the boss activates a base ability, and then essentially goes back to the start to see if they can activate any more base abilities, and then they activate an ally ability, and then they go back to the start to activate another base ability if they can. So what I'm trying to say is that they're going to draw another card because now they've got 2 allies. Now they've got a double ally ability, and they're going to be able to activate this, draw that, and then activate this and draw another one. So now, oh no! They've got a nesting ground out. This could be the end of the game, could it not? I don't know what these numbers add up to yet, but I think it's a lot. So the nesting ground now comes into play. It's going to be absolutely impossible for us to kill them, isn't it? So we just have to survive. That's it. We just have to survive. There's no more abilities to activate, so now we're just going to add everything up. So they've got 2 trade here, which is 2 combat. So that's 6, 7, 8 plus 1 trade is 9 combat. 9 plus 6 is 15 combat. 20 combat. 24 combat. Oh, you absolute beggar. That is just brutal. What absolutely brutal turn. 24 combat. Let me just see what's in my head. So we're dead. I mean, let's just put it out there. We're dead. We haven't survived. Here are all my bloody bases, although it still wouldn't have saved me. It's only 1. Yeah, look, even so, it wouldn't have saved me. So my bases would both at the bottom. Ah, that is very tough. So this would have taken 4 off me, right? So I would have only had 20 health, or 20 combat to take off, but I'm still at 19 health, so I still would have died. I really needed both those bases, like, way earlier on. And that scout hand did not help. Oh, what? I'm telling you, this blob one is tricky. It gets just like... I mean, that is unbelievable. What's the last card? Oh, yeah, the Hive Queen. So then you've got 7. Draw a card, so you put a base back into play. And then another 6, presumably another 6. Oh, that is just bonkers. Well... there you go. Oh, I'm so frustrated. I feel like I could have made just slightly better choices. Although, yeah, I mean, like, all of this stuff that we bought over the last, like, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Over the last, like, 4 turns didn't even come into my hand. So I think I really need to be very conscientious about scrapping as many cards as I possibly can. I think that's what I've got to do to beat this guy. All right, well, that's going to be it from me. I really hope you've enjoyed the latest edition of our Star Realms Frontiers boss challenges. If you did, don't forget to drop a like, leave me a comment, and if you haven't already, hit subscribe. Hit the little bell to get notified about my new videos, and, well, you know, try watching this one. There's that one, this one, that one. Yeah, that one. Try watching this one. It's going to be really good, probably. I mean, that was a bit hubristic. It's probably pretty good. It's all right. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you later.